Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. And today we're going to look at how to write your task. Now, I've covered this multiple times before, but I think I've got a better way of explaining it that might just help you to save time when it comes to deciding what to do. And this really has everything to do with one of the reasons why we procrastinate. Now, let me just give you a little bit of an example outside of the task manager. The first thing is when writing a shopping list. Now, it's something that I do every week. It's something that I use Apple reminders for, simply because I can add stuff to my shopping list using Siri. Fantastic way to do it. But when I'm writing a shopping list, I'm not going to write things like food, drink, toiletries. That would not help me in the supermarket. It is far too general. It's what I would describe as a statement. It's not a task or a list. It's just food, drink, toiletries. It doesn't help me when I'm in the supermarket. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a lot more descriptive. I'm going to write things like broccoli, chicken breast, carrots, sprouts, mushrooms, almonds, balsamic vinegar, I don't know how to pronounce that, cauliflower, or Louis Latour Poulet Foussé, which is an outstanding wine if anyone out there is looking for a good white wine. But that's much more descriptive. Now the thing is, I know this order is broccoli, chicken breast, carrots, sprouts, mushrooms, etc. What you would actually do is you would then group them together. So I would have all my fruit and vegetables all in one group, any meat that I'm buying would be in another group, and dry goods in another, etc. That just makes it much easier when I'm in the supermarket. Now most people know this, but why are we not doing that with our task managers? Now, before I go into details about that, I have a brief message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. With thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, productivity, freelancing, and more. Skillshare has classes to fit your schedule and skill level, and members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. For example, this course on Essentialism by Greg McKeown is fantastic. It has helped me to identify what is important to me so I can focus my time and energy on the essential things in my life. If you're looking for the perfect place to ignite your creativity and learning, then give Skillshare a try. The first 1,000 people to use the link or my code, Pullein, will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Okay, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I've been using Skillshare for a very long time. I even have some of my own courses on Skillshare. It's a fantastic platform if you want to learn, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Okay, let's move on into how to take what we know about shopping lists into our task managers. Now, a lot of the time when I'm working with clients I actually see a lot of task managers that have tasks like increase sales, improve factory safety, hire HR manager, and remodel meeting rooms and summer activities for the kids. Now, the thing is, these are not tasks. These are just statements of intent, if you like, but they're certainly not tasks. They don't help you. Now, what you want to be thinking when you're creating a task list or adding stuff to your task manager, you need to be thinking about your future self. What is it that you're going to need to know that's going to prevent you from procrastinating? If I come to my task manager and I see something like increase sales, I'm not going to do it because A, I don't know what to do. That's actually just a statement. It's saying, okay, you need to increase sales. Right, okay, How am I going to do that? What can I do in this moment that's going to help me to increase sales? That needs some thinking time. That needs breaking down. Improve factory safety is another one. It's not a task, it is a statement. What do you need to do at a task level that will increase factory safety or improve factory safety? Now, I don't manage a factory, I'm not entirely sure of this, but I have spoken to people who do manage factories, and one of the things that they need to do is to make sure that protocols are in place and that all new staff are trained in the safety protocols. So that might be something that needs delegating to your HR department or your training department. Or if you're a sole trader like myself, perhaps you have to start thinking about how can I train my employees. But these tasks do not help you, because when you see something like that, I can guarantee right now that you're going to procrastinate and you're not going to do them. So what we mostly generally do is we will then just offshoot it to another day, thinking, oh, we'll look at it another day. That other day comes and you repeat the same process, because they're not tasks, they're just statements. So how do we break those kind of tasks down? Things like increase sales, improve factory safety, hire HR manager. Well, what we can do is we're only looking at the very next step. I don't like to go beyond the very next step, because too many things are likely to change. And quite often when I'm kind of planning out, thinking, oh, this step and then that step and then this step and then that step, sometimes those steps don't need doing. Other times I need to add in an additional step. So actually what I'm more concerned about is what is the very next step. I don't need to worry about the second or third or fourth step, because that's going to naturally come from once deciding what that next step is. So let's say we take increased sales. What we could do is say arrange meeting with sales team to discuss ideas for improving sales. So the task there is arrange a meeting with your sales team. Now that's something that I can deal with. That's a task, that's not a statement. That is a task. That probably means all I have to do is send out an email to my sales team. What about improve factory safety? Well, do a walk round of factory with supervisor to review safety protocols. Now, that might not be something that I need to do, I can do in one day. Obviously, it depends on how big the factory is. But what we could do is we say, right, this week, I'm going to call it Safety Week. And every day we're going to look at a different part of the factory to see where we can improve safety. Now that's a task. Organize days to spend with the supervisor. Oh, that's not going to be a day. You probably spend an hour each day going around a different department, looking at safety protocols, and then walking with the supervisor so that we can discuss what's the best way forward. That's mainly something that I would put in my calendar. What about hiring a HR manager? Well, perhaps the first step here is to write a job description for the new HR manager, because without the job description, you're not got anything to post to a job advertising site. You're not going to be able to look up or hire somebody through LinkedIn or whichever way that you hire people. So with something like that, what's the very next step? Well, the next step is, well, let's write out a job description. What do I want an HR manager to do? And what about something like, I've dealt there with, let's also look at another one, remodel meeting rooms, which is another one of those statements. Again, that would just simply be setting up a meeting with the interior designer to discuss meeting rooms. So that's probably what, an email, a phone call, a text message, depends on your relationship with the interior designer. Now, if you never used an interior designer before, perhaps you now need to go online and research into local interior designers. That would be the next step. And perhaps while you're there, they will have a website and you can just reach out to them through their website. You've done two tasks in one. Hence the reason why I don't like to forward plan tasks, because quite often a lot of the tasks that I think I need to do, I don't need to do. And finally, summer activity for the kids, something from your personal life. Well, what's involved there? Now, that could something be possible activities for the kids. Again, that's something that you may want to do in the evening. You could probably do it from your phone while sat on the sofa. But summer activities for kids is a statement. It's not a task. What you're looking for is the actual task, and that simply could be research activities to do with the kids in the summer, or it could be discuss with my partner what activities we'd like to do with the kids this summer. So I really want to kind of stress this point because I've been coaching people now for like 4 or 5 years, and it's one of the biggest things and the biggest problems I see inside when people are trying to get organized. They're starting at the right place. They're beginning to use a task manager. They're getting stuff into the task manager, but the stuff they're putting in there is actually causing the problem. They're not, or you're not writing out tasks in a way that people will be able to, or you will be, your future self will say, exactly, that's what I need to do right now. And the great thing about being more specific about the task is you're in a much better place to be able to anticipate how long something will take. You know, improve sales, I have no idea how long that would take. Similarly, summer activities for kids or remodel meeting rooms. I mean, I have no idea how long that will take. But if I break it down, like set up meeting with interior designer to discuss meeting rooms, now I know that's a 2-minute task, or perhaps 5 minutes if I have a talkative interior designer. But I know once I've broken the task down how long something will take. And so whenever anyone says to me, how do you know how long something will take? That's an indication that the way they're writing the tasks is actually not making it clear. You know, if you look at that main list that I had at the beginning, for example, arrange meeting with sales team to discuss ideas for increasing sales. Arrange meeting, it's an email. It's probably 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 5 minutes at the most. You know, do a walk around with the factory supervisor to review safety protocols. Okay, that might take an hour. That might be 45 minutes, but I'm pretty clear how long it's going to take. Write job description for new HR manager. Okay, that could be 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Set up meeting with interior designer. We discussed it's 5 minutes. And research possible activities for kids. Well, maybe that depends on me. How much time am I going to do that? And let's say I'm going to give it an hour. Now I know, but the list before, I had no idea. That just looks overwhelming, even though there's only 5 tasks on it. So hopefully now, I've managed to get expressed how you should be writing tasks and why it's so important that you get your tasks written in such a way that it stops you from procrastinating and gives you clarity on how long it's going to take you. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring the video. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.